Hey fellow Nevillers, today we're reading from He is Dreaming Now and the date's unknown. In this lecture, Neville talks about us stepping out mentally to like another place, i.e. our wish fulfilled. And he talks about it in relation to Macy's and Gimbals, i.e. people from one part of New York find it difficult to step out from where they are to where they want to be, i.e. where they are mentally to where they want to go mentally. It's about God dreaming, which we know is the truth, in us. So let me read you a couple of paragraphs. It says right here, I tell you, it's entirely up to us if you know who you are. You and God are one. God literally became as you are, that you may be as God is. And to do that, he emptied himself and took upon himself the form of a slave. And this, indicating the body, is the form of the slave. And found himself in the form of man and became a billion with all the weaknesses and limitations of man. But he has no limitations when he wakes. So when he wakes in you, you will have no restrictions, no limitations. But until he wakes, believe him and exercise the talent that he gave you. And I know that's why we're all here, to exercise our talent. He continues, it is him himself. He continues, it is himself, which is your own imagination, and simply exercise it and see how he wakes in your world. Nothing is impossible to God, and God is your own wonderful human imagination. And he continues, so he is dreaming now. Oh yes, I know he's dreaming it all, but dreaming horrible dreams. What horrible dreams they are dreaming, getting even with this, getting even with that. You can stop it now, regardless of what the world tells you, and start a new record, a new dream. Leave it alone and start dreaming something entirely different. And I'll break here and tell you the truth here. This is exactly what I'm trying to do. Break from the dream of my 3D reality. Now let's continue. Well, how do you do it? What would it be like if I were the man I want to be? So you start with wanting to be. You desire to be other than the man you seem to be. Well, now, is it true that I could be? Well, if it were true, what would you see? How would you see the world? And how would your friends see you? What would you say when you meet them? And what would they say if all the things that you now would like to be, you are? And where would you live if it were true? Would you still live in the limited space, or would you live in a more wonderful place, a better state? Well then, live there mentally. We'll take a break. So that's the part we're trying to work on, or I am personally, and I'm presuming you guys are too, trying to move from where we are mentally to where we mentally want to go. And he continues, you say, I have never been in such a place. I wouldn't have the courage to go into that place. Mentally sleep in it, he says. And he continues, I have told this to my friends time and again. In New York City, we have a place called Tiffany's, and we speak of a Tiffany. Well, that is the height for certain things. I am not speaking against Macy's or Gimbals. They serve a purpose. But people will pass by Tiffany's and go into Macy's or Gimbals to buy a wedding present of, say, 8 or a dozen glasses. It is sent off to the bride-to-be in a Macy's box costs more than 12 lovely glasses from Tiffany that would be sent in a Tiffany box. I know that from experience. There are people who were born on the east side of New York who have never crossed the barrier. They are embarrassed to leave their little place and come as far as Fifth Avenue. Those born on the west side never come to Fifth Avenue. They were born and they die there. People live in Brooklyn. They were born in Brooklyn and they die in Brooklyn 70 or 80 years later, and they've never seen Manhattan. They are embarrassed to go out of their own little shell. If they will not go out physically, just imagine trying to go out mentally. And that's the part I really want to reiterate in here, because I'm stuck in this pattern where I won't go out mentally because it's like unknown. But we know Neville says it works, so that's what we're going to continue to do. Now, back to the lecture. He says they are embarrassed to go out of their own little shell. If they will not go out physically, just imagine trying to go out mentally. They are embarrassed. They wouldn't go into a Tiffany. They wouldn't go into a smart shop. And I've always said you can buy better things in the better stores and not at these inflated prices that people tell you. But it takes some bold step in the mind to have you change your pattern of thinking and therefore your pattern of living. That's where I'm at, my lovelies. Trying to be bold enough to step out of this mental arena where I am into the new arena. Now, one more paragraph from Neville here. Tonight, if you really would like to transcend the world in which you live, transcend it first in your imagination. And don't ask how it's going to happen. How will things move in your world to permit it to happen? They will move. But first, in your mind's eye, be the person that you want to be and walk as though you were, and in a way that no one knows, you will become that person. Well, sooner or later, we become, and we start to be and do our fixed beliefs, what we really believe that we are. Soon or later, we believe and we are and we do. Well, tonight you want to be noble. I mean a noble being, not one born to the purple, not one born by physical descent. I mean noble in spirit, noble in mind. As far as I'm concerned, I accept no aristocracy of the flesh, only the aristocracy of the spirit. And we'll stop there, because what I'm trying to do in this video is show you how, and teach myself, to step out from where we are now to where we want to be. So this is a little empowering. All right, my lovelies, I'll stop while I'm ahead reading this lecture and share again tomorrow. Feel free to send some love, leave a comment or a lecture request, and I'll go into it, read it, study it, and share with you some wisdom. Day 8 of 365. Thanks for your time and attention, my lovelies. See you next time. Bye.